This is my life with albinism.
Now, this is my life with albinism.
And this is my life with albinism.
You ready? Gotta speak loud, okay?
Yes.
Because the camera's all the way over there. Don't be too cool.
All right, we're back with another episode of Life with Albinism podcast. We are here at NOAHCon 2022 in Orlando.
Sir.
And I am your host, Dale.
I'm Avery.
And we have two special guests here today. We're going to start off with you, Jack. You're the man of the hour.
Yes, sir.
So you go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people your name and tell the people a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do?
Hello, my name is Julian Eric Kidd.
You might have to speak a little louder now.
okay.
You have to speak a little louder.
Hello, my name is Julian Eric Kidd. I like to practice baseball and play baseball. Fun fact about me, I was the first baseball player with albinism in Flossmoor baseball history.
Wow.
That's
the name of your team?
No, it's I'm on the A's.
A's team in Flossmoor, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
You're the first kid with albinism to be on that baseball team in that city?
area.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
that
wow.
city
Nice.
with albinism and talking about
Doing big
That's
things.
amazing. So now we
we
might have to jump off topic here because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Tell the people, how does your vision affect your ability to play baseball, or does it not?
Well, they use like high frequency balls,
What is
I
that?
mean-
vision ball.
low vision balls.
What is that? Can
Like-
you please tell me? I've never heard of that.
Like yellow balls,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
So they're brighter so you can see them coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's an issue with me too, because I've been to batting cages before, and that ball looks like it's coming way too fast. I can't really precisely tell when that ball is coming. What about you, Avery? You've been to batting cages before too, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's normal to me.
Oh, okay.
That's all right.
Okay, that's great. That's
Yes.
great. Oh, and you didn't introduce yourself.
Oh,
No,
that's,
sorry,
I'm so
yeah.
that's
sorry.
okay. It's not about me. All right, I'm Takia Kidd, the mom of Julian Kidd Jr.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so now let's ask you a few questions. What is it like parenting a young man with albinism?
Well, it has been quite a journey. That's been, I would say, a positive experience for us.
Okay.
And I will say that only because we found out about Noah when he was little. So we have had a lot of resources that have been put at our fingertips to help in raising Julian.
Okay.
So he is the first and only person that we know of to have albinism in our family. So when he was born, my OB immediately said, check him for albinism. And I had a C-section, so I'm lying on the table like, what does that mean? What is alba what? And so when I saw him, I was like, oh, okay.
So you said you had a C-section. So when they pulled him out and then they're like, check him for albinism. Just seeing him wasn't enough to be like, oh, we know what this
Well, I
is.
hadn't seen him yet. So I had a C-section.
Yeah.
So when you have a C-section, when the baby is pulled,
Yeah.
you don't see him right away.
Okay.
So they took him over triage, and then they showed him to me after they cleaned him.
Yeah.
So when I saw him, I was like, oh. But in African American community, our babies don't look the same from day one. Day
That's true.
four.
Very true.
So,
That's true.
Yes.
Our pigment comes in sometimes a little
later on.
So
Yeah.
we look at the knuckles. We're looking at
So
the
you
back
didn't
of the
automatically
ears.
assume albinism.
Not really, because
Okay.
my family said when I was born, I was blonde. But I'm thinking I was more of like a sandy. You know how in black, like your beard.
Yeah.
That's how my hair was.
Oh, okay.
And I've gotten older, so it's
Nice.
But I had this sandy brown hair, so they were assuming that his sandy brown hair was like mine.
Yeah.
And I kept looking at, as the
Yeah,
days
yeah,
go
yeah.
and weeks go on, I was like, no, I don't think I was this sandy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his eyes started moving right away with the nystagmus.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, maybe albino. Then my OB was like, it's called albinism. The term is albinism, the medical term. I was like, okay. So I had to practice some like albinism, So he was diagnosed at 3 months from the ophthalmologist. They looked at the back of his eyes, no color. Said, okay, he has albinism, and at this time, his color remained the same from day one until now.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's albinism.
So Jack, how is it like, in your own words, how is it like having albinism?
Like school wise, like friends or
Well, no, I kind of meant like more like on a general level, like
but
what is it like? In your opinion, what is it like having albinism?
People question me a lot, and sometimes they just keep repeating the same thing. I'm like, haven't I told you before?
Like, are you white? Are you white? Are you mixed? Those kind of questions?
No, they're just asking like, why are your eyes moving?
We all
Why your
have
eyes
that.
moving so fast?
I'm like,
I still get that. I still get that to this day.
I'm like, man, I told you before.
You know how I respond to that when people are like, "Why your eyes moving so much?" I'm like, "I'm scanning the room. I gotta see everything." I'll just say that.
I can see everything that's going on.
For the little humor, it goes a long way.
And he has that.
Yes. So.
Okay, so now I hear that you guys have a book. Can you tell us about that? Where is it available for sale? Where can people buy it?
Yes, I have a book inspired by Julian. It's called Life with Jack, Living with Albinism, by Takia Kidd. It's available on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. You can kind of Google it and find it in different places. Books A Million. But if you start on Amazon, that would be great because you're able to leave me a review and also to help others find the book.
Yes.
The inspiration came from when he was little. I wanted to read books to him. I'm an educator, so I did not see any books on albinism, period. No children's books at all.
And what is this book about? How would you describe this book?
It's really about how you live with albinism, from the normalcy of he comes from a loving family. The modifications are we use our super tools like our magnifier, a monocular, a dome when we're reading, just to enlarge the print that he needs to see because with albinism becomes low vision. So just making those modifications, and the commonality is we all know people who wear glasses. We all know people who wear hats. Some people use sunblock. Those are the normalcy, the normalcy around albinism. So that was my goal, is to just really shine a light on we may look different, and I say we because he's a part of me.
Of course.
And so he may look different, but he's still the same.
Yes.
And there's so many similarities between just as humans. Then there are differences. The pale skin or the lack of pigment is the one huge difference, but that's it.
That's it.
So.
And now, before we close out, Jack, I do want to ask you another question. Or Ava, do you have any questions for him?
How is it in school?
It's important, especially at church.
Yes, because when I was in school, it was very difficult for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
curious.
How you deal with that?
I'm homeschooled actually.
Okay.
So
is it because of the albinism?
No, I was going to say you can speak to when you were in school. So you have to address that he's a baby from the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wait. No, he's 10.
I meant like he went to school up until 2.5 years ago. And once the pandemic hit, I started homeschool.
So that's
he's
what you
been
mean.
to school, but he was so young, is what I'm saying. He left school at 7.
Okay,
No, I left school at 8.
Okay. Well, he left school at 8. He was in second grade.
So what was school like when you were in public school?
Yes.
Right.
The same. It was just like,
but they don't know what the same means.
It was
like, gotta describe it.
Yeah, you gotta describe it for our viewers who are gonna want to hear your perspective at 10 years old.
to describe. It was good. It was like any other school year.
Okay. Did you have friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you bullied at all?
Did anyone make fun of you?
Not because of my albinism.
Or? Okay.
Lucky
Kids
you.
be- Yeah, word, right?
Look at you.
See, everybody's experience is not the same.
go through
Oh yeah,
different
because well,
things,
see
you know
me,
what I'm
see
saying?
like Avery, he wasn't really bullied much because he went to school in a town where he knew everyone, so they were familiar with him.
Yeah, so
Me,
before
I bounced around from
Yeah.
school to school to school in
Oh,
high school. I was picked on a lot. I was teased a lot, So of course, every day I got the Casper jokes, the Michael Jackson jokes, the all of that stuff. You don't get none of that.
No, lucky man.
Yeah.
Lucky
And I
you.
would say like one part of my book and the mission is I would go and read my book to his classes.
Oh,
so
wow.
we address the elephant in the room
Okay,
the first day.
I like that.
So
No,
being
not
in
the first day, like the fourth day.
Okay, the fourth day. So we would talk about, nystagmus. We talked about him looking different. And I would read the book. And it started out as Google Sheets.
Okay.
Google Slides.
Okay, yeah. So,
And it was
man.
just paper. And then that was in preschool, and then kindergarten and first grade. And I was like, you know what, let's publish this book, because so many of my colleagues and his teachers were like, we appreciate this book. This has been so helpful. And the students, they were like just in awe of, the commonality.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we know what nystagmus is, we know what albinism
Yeah,
is. And I
it's
would send a
enlightening
letter
people.
home to the families to let them know, oh, your child has a new classmate. His name is Julian. He has nystagmus and albinism. And that opened up communication for the parents to talk to me to say if they had extra questions, but they didn't, because I would read the book, and their students would go home and kind of talk about him, and I'm playing with Julian, or I have a new friend. So he probably didn't experience as much or any of it because I stepped in front of it to educate. I felt like
okay, so
education
you kind
is the
of
part of because when you don't know is when you get the
bullying
and the teasing.
and I never had
exactly.
So when my grandma was just like, yo, they stare, you know what I'm saying? You speak up, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
All right, so now before we close out, Jack, I just want you to tell the people, what advice would you give to someone with albinism younger than yourself? Let's say somebody younger than you who has albinism that might be going through things. What advice would you give them?
Like Philip, he has a friend, a good friend, and Philip is
Yeah,
younger.
Philip.
So what would you tell a younger person like Philip?
I would just tell them to don't really worry about what people say to you. Just worry about yourself. Don't worry about others.
I like that.
And you know
Keep
what?
moving.
And that is excellent.
That's-
I
yes.
preach that
For
all
real.
the time.
All the
Do
time.
not care what people say, what people think. You're gonna learn that
You heard it
very,
here first.
very easy in life. All right, I want to thank you guys for your time, and thank you for joining this podcast.
Yes.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for sharing your story, man.
Yes, man.
Appreciate
Give me some.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
you.
Tune in to lifewithalbinism.com. Find all of our content, all of our social medias, and all of our products.
Yes.
Amazing episode.
Yes, amazing. Thank you for the
Thank you
opportunity.
guys. Thank you. So I'm sure we might have ran over time a little.